So a quick review of 2.1. Let G be a translation 2 units up. So what I'm going to first do is just kind of look at the different transformations we're doing. A reflection in the x-axis, and then a vertical stretch by a factor of 6. So I'm going to approach each of these individually. It might help some of you out that are struggling with them. So we know right now f of x is equal to x squared, and we're trying to find g of x. So what I'm going to do is each transformation, I am going to use a new function. Okay, so I'm going to call my next function, I'm going to call it h of x. Okay, and I'm not using g because g is going to be our final one. So h of x is equal to, in this case, I'm going 2 up, so that means I need to add 2 to my f of x, correct? Everyone with me? So h of x is equal to f of x plus 2. We good? So I just do that one transformation. What that means is I take what f of x is, and we know currently that f of x is this deal. All right? I'm going to plug that in for f of x here. All right? So that means h of x now is equal to x squared. Plug that in, plus 2. That's what h of x equals. And if you want it without the parentheses, just that we showed the substitution, just look like that. All right, so we've done one of the transformations in that order. So the next piece says reflect in the x-axis. So that means I'm now taking h of x, and rather than calling it g of x or anything, I'm just going to take the next letter, and I'm going to call it I of x now. Okay, I of x is going to be equal to a reflection in x, means I'm taking my h of x, my previous function, I'm just reflecting it. That's going to be negative h of x. Yes?
So like for this, the negative would be on the outside,
right? Right, because it's changing it vertically. Yep. And so that means I am taking this piece right here, and I'm plugging it in for my h of x right there. So that ends up giving me I of x equals negative, and I've got to input in parentheses, like so. So when I simplify it, I get negative x squared minus 2. Is what I of x equals. Good? All right. We have one transformation left, and that transformation is a vertical stretch by a factor of 6. Okay, vertical stretch means it happens on the outside. It means I am going to take my I of x. Now I'm going to skip j and call it k of x. The reason I skip j is because I don't like writing the letter j. Okay, k of x. It looks too much like I for me, okay, when I write it. So k of x is equal to, it's a vertical stretch by a factor of 6. That means I am taking I of x and multiplying it by 6. And it's happening outside because it's vertical. 6i of x. Okay? Now, in that case, that means I am taking this piece, the I of x, and plugging it in for I of x there. Okay, so I guess that's going to give me 6 times negative x squared minus 2, which ends up being negative 6x squared minus 12. That's equal to k of x, and since I don't have any other transformations, I am now done. That's actually equal to g of x. G of x equals this function. G of x equals our k of x function. So if you want to rewrite it just as g of x equals negative 6x squared minus 12, that's your solution. Okay, now if you can do that all at once like we have been, that's fantastic. But if you are having a hard time with it, go step by step. Okay? Any questions? How many say that cleared you up a little? Okay, good. So let's try number 6. Give that one a go, because, I mean, if you could do 6, that one's kind of on steroids, so that'll help you out a bit. Okay, let's first write out our f of x. Use a different sheet here. So we have our f of x is equal to 2x plus 1, the quantity 2x plus 1, quantity squared minus 11. Now I'm going to, once again, since we're trying to find h, I'm going to do all these different things. I'm doing a shrink by a factor of 1/4, first, then I'm doing a translation 1 unit up, and 3 units to the right. Okay? And so we'll call h of x is going to be my shrink by a factor of 4, and I guess I should include the horizontal there, right? Horizontal shrink. And so that means it's happening on the inside of f of x. So we're taking f of a factor of 1/4 is actually represented with a 4 in the inside. So h of x equals f of 4x. Okay? And so this piece now is just replacing the x. Okay? So when it's on the inside, it's just replacing that piece there. So that means we have h of x is equal to 2 times 4x plus 1, all that's still in parentheses, squared minus 11. The only part that changed was the 4x, right? And we replaced x with the 4x. Okay? So that's my h of x, which means h of x equals 8x plus 1, quantity squared, minus 11. Very good? Don't worry about it. All right, we're now doing a translation 1 up. Okay? We're going to call that I of x. Someone's supposed to go to the office. Someone's parent's supposed to pick them up right now. Someone's parent bringing them something. Okay. Then it's probably Mr. Vogel or someone calling me. All right, translation 1 unit up. That means I am now taking my h of x equation. Since it's a vertical shift, it's happening on the outside. We're adding 1. Okay? That means h of x, we have 8x plus 1, quantity squared, minus 11. Remember, that's this whole chunk right here is replacing that chunk right there, because h of x equals that. Okay? And then we have the plus 1 on the back end there. Okay? So we've substituted that piece in. Means I of x is equal to that chunk. We get 8x plus 1, quantity squared, minus 10. When we combine those. That's our I of x. Last piece, 3 units to the right. Meaning we're now taking that, I'm going to call this one our g of x, right? Because it's our last transformation, so that's what we want. It's our g of x equation. So g of x, we're going to shift it 3 units to the right. It means we are now taking I of x, and we're moving it to the right, meaning it's happening on the inside, and we are subtracting 3. So this chunk right here is going to replace that piece right there. It's happening on the inside. So that ends up giving us, I almost wrote on. So this is 8 times x minus 3, okay, plus 1 squared minus 10. So remember, the only thing that changed was this. Okay? And so from that point, we get 8x minus 24 when we distribute there, plus 1 squared minus 10, which is 8x minus 23 squared minus 10. That is g of x. And that is our function after those transformations. Hopefully that clears that up. I'm doing my best to make sure I know that you guys are best going to learn it. So that should, I hope, clear it up. Okay. So